Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I got a cool little 1/16 scale brushless truggy to review. This is the SG1602 Pro brushless buggy. Now if you're looking at this saying, man Ryan, this looks an awful lot like a car you just did recently. Well yeah, it does. Let me show you. This is very much, in fact almost identical to this HBX truck. You can see the same frame, same wheels, same wheelie bars you have to attach. It's exact same battery, same brushless motor, same controller. The only difference is the body here on top, different Lexan body. This has a spoiler that this one doesn't on this truggy version. They do have a truck version of this, which is going to be identical to this. And on the truggy version, you got different tires, as you can see. The tires here are more of a on-road type looking radial than this more dirt off-road looking type on this HBX truck. But you can see here, here's the motor on this one here, the brushless keys racing. And then if I set this one down, this one has the exact same motor here underneath here, same motor, same ESC receiver combo, same steering servo, same 2S lithium ion battery in there with the Dean's plug. It's identical. Here is the controller, identical, same. So SG, which I think it was something like, let me look at the box here guys. I'll show you, it does come in a different box than the HBX, a much less fancy. It's this just plain cardboard box. It's a pinecone model. SGLmodel.com is the website. Here's the model number, the SG1602 Pro. The regular is going to be the brushed motor. You can see here's the truck version of it, and that's all. You know, it has the spare parts. It's exact same thing. So this pinecone model company had just simply contracted with HBX to make their exact same trucks with just a very few slight modifications and sold under their name brand. So I figured there's no reason to do a table review on this truck because it's exact same as the HBX. I'll be going with the exact same accessories, same controller, same instructions, same spare parts with those same instructions. It's identical. But the one thing on my HBX, on this one, is my controller, which is the exact same controller, did not get good range. But I was the only one. David over at Perth West Oz RC and John Coopy on his channel both reviewed the HBX and they had just fine range. So I'm thinking it was something with my controller. So I want to see, how does this one drive and is the controller okay on this one? Thankfully on the HBX, I had an old HBX ground crusher. Its controller bound with it and its controller seemed fine, just as I expected. So it was not a receiver issue, it was actually a controller issue. So if you want to see what comes with these cars, just go check out the HBX. If I remember, I'll put a card up here to link back to that video if you want to see what all comes in the box, because you have to attach this wheelie bar on these cars. You take this piece off and attach it, and you have to, and it does have LEDs in the front, which I'll show you guys. And you do have to plug those in and wire them across. They give you zip ties, everything you need to keep it in place. So there's an on and off switch, just like on HBX, is up here in the back. You just flip that on. And here are the LEDs here in the front, and I'm going to go ahead and flip the controller on. And it should be, there we go, bound up. So yeah, exact same truck, it'll be the same speed. We'll just see how it, how does it look. Go ahead and put it on the ground here, guys. Oh, yeah, just like the HBX, of course. Pretty quick little truck too. Pretty close in speed. Whoa, it flipped over on me. Pretty similar speed there to the my other 1/16, my Zenlahong Q903 and my S-Max truck. It seemed like I may have had a little range issue right there, but I was too brief to be for sure. If it is, that's not very good. But I don't want to say for sure yet. But yeah, I mean, for a little brushed motor truck, the shocks are not oil filled, just like the HBX, but they do a pretty good job. I'm a big fan of this body and this setup on both of these because I just like the look of it and the way it handles. It's not as bouncy as my Q903. and not as heavy as that S-Max. The S-Max uses very good parts, but it really makes it heavy. And it's surprising that the speed on that truck is right at the same as these because of all the additional weight. Let's see if I get any range issues out here. Yeah, I've lost steering right there. So man, I tell you what, I don't know why John and David didn't really have problems. I'm not very far out. Let's see if I can get it back. And I don't have any low battery. And I do not have good range on these. So keep that in mind. I don't know why. There, we got it back. So I don't know what that is, but I'm thinking that's, I don't know, 20, 30 meters. Well, I did a wheelie there. This is the same place I reviewed the HBX. There's not any kind of interference out here or anything. I'm gonna give them a little bit of steering trim here. These are very inexpensive. Some of them, probably the cheapest brushless cars you can buy. This one I think sells for around the same price as the HBX one does. But the HBX one, they've had some good coupons in the past that sometimes you could get the HBX one for down under like, $65, $66. This one I think runs around 80. So I mean, if you're interested in this, you make, depending on which one you can get the cheapest, there's no reason to buy this one over the HBX unless you absolutely just are in love with the Truggy body style. The range on this one's, I honestly, the HBX I believe was worse. This one's getting a little bit of range, but it's still not very good. But I know David I thought he was getting around 100 meters on his HBX. And I said, this one's, I'm probably getting 30, if that. So keep that in mind. If you're gonna buy this for somebody, make sure it's someone who's gonna be okay with keeping it close. Boy, it is pretty quick. I think it's in the mid 20 miles per hour. 23, 25, somewhere around there. I think it was 23. There we go. And it's got pretty good power, which you'd expect for a brushless. I actually say I probably like the way this one handles with these tires, especially with these surfaces, is better than the HBX, the truck one. So I would recommend, if you're interested in this, going with the Truggy style. If you're going to go with this brand and not the HBX, because I don't know if the HBX, I can't remember now if the HBX had a Truggy one they sold. They probably do, because they have several versions of this HBX and this one with the brush motors, which sell for like in the $50 range. But man, I mean, I would not buy the brushed over the brushless when you can spend $20 more and get brushless motor. I also would recommend attaching that wheelie bar. You don't have to put that on, but as you can see, when I first drove it, it flipped. I mean, you can definitely ride a wheelie with this at times, and if you don't have that on, it's just going to flip. Whoa! Back on its wheels. All right, let's see if how it does here a little bit off-road. I'm going to take it up here. We'll drive it in this grass and see, can it handle the grass? Because I know taking it down the hill back here behind me on the HBX, I had a hard time, just because of the small size. Let's see how it flipped over. That was just from too much bounciness. So let's see if I can get out here without getting too muddy. All the snow we had a few weeks ago is all melted away. So all that water had to go in the ground. And then we had rain on top of that now. Oh, up on the side two wheels. Yeah, it's not too bad. I mean, the brushless motor is going to provide a lot more power and torque compared to the brush motors. But just the small size of this car is going to make it a little harder to go through thick grass. I think that this grass here is not so bad. I like those LED lights, look really cool at night too. Yeah, it's a sharp little car. When I give it throttle, at times it's almost like there's just a slight delay, and that could just be the way the ESC is programmed, but it also could just be this really cheap controller. So this thing should be splash proof. It's not gonna be waterproof. I know that glare on my camera is gonna be pretty bad, guys, but keep that in mind. Don't submerge this in water. I'm not gonna drive it through that deep puddle there. You could fry the ESC. But in snow, no problem. Splashing through a very, you know, 1-inch puddle or something, or less, would be fine. Yeah, I like this. I can get, obviously my only complaint, it's the same complaint I had with the HBX there. The range on this controller is really bad. This one, like I said, seems a little bit better. So overall, I would recommend this, especially if you can get this at a good price. I'll see if I got a coupon for this. If you can get this down in the $70 range, I'd say go for it. Just if you're gonna buy it for yourself, be aware that you're probably not gonna get good range, but you could upgrade this, I'm pretty sure, to an aftermarket receiver. So I gotta look in here and see if the steering servo would need to be replaced. I think this one, yeah, it uses a full-size Futaba old style servo plug. It's a 3-wire, so you could just put in an aftermarket ESC and an aftermarket controller, like a Dumbo RC or something, for 25 bucks, and you'd be able to go, and you're going to get, you know, 10 times the range or something of what we were, well, probably not 10, but you're gonna get way better range than the stock setup. But this will at least get you going. So if you can get this cheap enough, I say yes. Obviously check out the HBX version if you might be get a better deal on it in terms of price, depending on what Banggood's running in terms of their coupons. But if you're okay with the range, or you're buying this for a kid, you know the kid's not gonna drive it very far, yeah, go for it. But if you need to drive it out a ways, or you want to FPV this with, like, you know, AIO cam or something, well, no, you're going to need to upgrade, because I don't get good enough range. Now maybe you'll get lucky like David and John, especially David, and get really good range, but just keep in mind you may not. All right, guys, that wraps up the review here of the SG1602 Pro brushless, and of course 4-wheel drive, which I don't think I mentioned, but it's 4-wheel drive Truggy. I hope you guys enjoy. If you have any questions, be sure to ask in the comments. Be sure to like, hit the subscribe button, and click the bell so you know when I do upload new videos. And as always, guys, have a wonderful day.
The power of the dark side.